look at some simplifying with rational exponents that you can use a calculator, but I also want to show you an option if you don't want to or don't have a calculator to use, which hopefully that doesn't happen very often. So if you want to take 16 to the 3/4 power, again, you can use a calculator, but let me show you how you could do it in your head and maybe do it pretty quickly with small numbers. When you're doing something like this, you want to always take the root first, which is the denominator, then the power. And I'll show you why here as we use this first one as an example. So this one is taking the top to the 3rd power, and it's taking the bottom to the 4th root. Well, anytime you take the root of a number, it's going to get smaller. So it's going to make it easier, which is why we're going to do the root first. We're not going to do the power first if we're trying to do it in our head and not use a calculator, because it's going to get huge and be really hard to do in your head. So if I take the 4th root of 16, that's actually something we know. The 4th root of 16 is 2. Then I can take the 3rd power and say, well, 2 to the 3rd power is 8. So I have that ability to do it in my head without a calculator. Now, you definitely can use a calculator. You could use it to kind of check your work. So if I take 16 to the 3/4 power, again, we see that we get 8. If it's a negative exponent, that negative is telling me it needs to move. So this is actually the same as 1/9 to the 5/2 because that negative exponent moves it to the bottom. Then I can do the root first. So the second root is square root. So the square root of 9 is 3. So I get 1/3 to the 5th. And you may not know what 3 to the 5th is. It's 243. But it gives you a way to do it without having to have a calculator. Now, again, if you do it on your calculator, you're just going to have to use your fraction button. So you're going to do 9 to the -5 divided by 2. And you will get a decimal. So if you go to math, it will give you that fraction that we just got. So the next one, again, the root is going to make it smaller. So I'm going to cube root 8. The cube root of 8 is just 2. And then I'm going to take the second power of that. 2 squared is 4. And again, you could use your calculator to confirm that. And then finally, the last one, because it's a negative exponent, we're going to move it to the bottom. So we're going to have this 3/5 power in the bottom. The 5th root of 32, it's one of the only 5th roots you might want to know. The 5th root of 32 is 2. So you get 1/2 cubed, which is 1/8. And again, you could use your calculator, type in 32 to the -3/5, and hit your fraction button to get the same answer. So some ways kind of give you some alternatives to what you can do without a calculator and what you can actually do without if you needed to.